Hi guys, this is Zilla, and in today's video we're going to be taking a first look hands-on at the OnePlus 6. As a lot of you already know, I attended the OnePlus 6 launch in London and had a great time there. So let's start off with the basic specs of the actual device itself. The dimensions are 155.7 by 75.4 by 7.75 millimeters. Comparing it to the OnePlus 5T, the size really isn't that different, and it weighs in at 177 grams. Now, OnePlus have used Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and back of the device. It comes in three colors, which we'll talk about shortly: the Mirror Black, Midnight Black, and Silk White. It's running on Oxygen OS Android Oreo. It's got a CPU, which is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845. with a GPU, which is an Adreno 630. You can get it in 6GB of RAM or 8GB, which is LPDDR4X. And the storage comes in 64, 128 or 256GB, which is UFS 2.12 lane. Now they've chosen to have a notch on the front, and the fingerprint sensor is round the back, which in my opinion is perfectly placed, and it is extremely fast. Now they've chosen to move the alert slider to the right hand side of the phone next to the power button, which makes a lot of sense, although I did accidentally keep trying to press the alert slider instead of the power button. But they've done that to accommodate the flip cases, because when they're on the device they do not cover the alert slider any longer, which makes perfect sense. It's also a dual nano SIM capable device. It's got a Type-C charging port at the bottom with a single bottom firing speaker and a microphone, and it comes with a 3300 mAh fast charging non-removable battery. Now let's take a look at each color variant one by one. First up, the Mirror Black. This is probably my least favorite out of the three available colors in the UK. Why? Because it's extremely reflective, very shiny, and it picks up a lot of fingerprints. It looks like any other glass back phone we've had in the past, so to me it doesn't look that special. The next color variant is Midnight Black. Now this looks beautiful. OnePlus have achieved this look by using several layers of glass and a machining technique, which makes the back of this look almost like metal. When you tilt it, it shimmers in the light, it picks up certain tones in the back of it, and guess what? It picks up a lot less fingerprints than the Mirror Black version. But my favorite is the Silk White option. Why? Because it's going to be limited edition. It's only going to be available for 2 weeks from the 5th of June. And this looks like a pearlescent white color. Really nice shimmer as you move the device around. The fingerprint sensor has got the rose gold color to it, as has the camera ring and the OnePlus logo. And the metal border that runs around the two glass panels is also in rose gold. Absolutely beautiful. My favorite by far. And of course, it's the least fingerprint magnet out of those three colors. The display on the OnePlus 6 is an optic AMOLED display measuring in at 6.2 inches. It has a resolution of 2280 by 1080, an aspect ratio of 19:9. It supports sRGB DCI P3, and it's Gorilla Glass 5, just like the back. The screen looks beautiful, very sharp, very colorful, very bright. I have zero complaints about the quality of this panel on the OnePlus 6. I mean, just take a look at that for yourself. Now let's talk about the rear cameras. The main one is a Sony IMX519. It's 16 megapixels. It has OIS and EIS and an aperture of f1.7. The secondary camera on the back is an IMX376K from Sony, and it weighs in at 20 megapixels, and that's also an aperture of f1.7. There's a dual LED flash, and it can record video in 4K at 30 or 60 FPS, 1080p at 30 or 60 FPS, 720p at 30 frames per second. It's got slow motion at 1080p at 240 FPS. 720p video in slow-mo is at 480 FPS. And it has the usual features such as portrait, pro mode, panorama, HDR, HQ, dynamic denoise, clear image and raw image. The front camera has a Sony IMX371. It's 16 megapixels. It has EIS built into it. It's a fixed focus and an aperture of 2.0. Now it can record 1080p resolution video at 30 frames per second or 720p at also 30 frames per second. It also has a time lapse, and the main features are portrait, HDR, screen flash, smile capture and face beauty. Now my short while testing out these cameras, I'm pretty good. They'll please a majority of people. Myself for one, am really looking forward to testing these further, and I like the fact that OnePlus listened to their fans, listened to their customers and included OIS. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the notch. I personally think everyone is making too big a deal of this. You can hide it in the settings where it puts a black bar on each side of it, and because it is an AMOLED display, it hides that notch pretty well. And one thing I really like about the way OnePlus have handled the notch here, unlike the iPhone X, when you pinch out a video to fill the screen, the notch does not cut into the actual video viewing experience like it does on the iPhone X. So I've got to give a thumbs up to OnePlus for doing that. While we're talking about the notch, let's talk about face unlock. That is extremely fast, as is the fingerprint sensor on the back. No one's going to complain about the speed of the fingerprint sensor or the face unlock. So overall, my first impressions of the OnePlus 6 is 100% thumbs up from me. It is a phone I'm definitely going to be purchasing on when it gets released. I will be at the pop-up store in London next Monday if anyone wants to come down and see me. So overall, my first impressions of the OnePlus 6 are extremely positive. I really like this device. I wasn't given a review unit. I paid for my own ticket to get into the event. Wasn't given any preferential treatment. And the fact when I tell you this, that I will be buying a OnePlus 6 when it launches with my own money, should tell you how I feel about this device. And I honestly believe OnePlus with this phone has caused a lot of problems for a lot of other OEMs out there. When you look at what you're getting for your money, absolutely beautiful, stunning hardware, great specs, and 100% thumbs up from me. I recommend buying this device if you're in the market for a new one. If you already got a OnePlus 5T, I'd probably say wait for the 6T when that comes out. A couple of things I would have liked to have seen, of course, is better waterproofing, because they've made it splash resistant as opposed to all out waterproof. And they do recommend you do not submerge this device in water. I would have liked to have seen dual speakers, but when I spoke to the people from OnePlus, they told me they didn't want to put a secondary speaker in because there wasn't enough space in the earpiece, and they didn't want to compromise by putting in a rubbish speaker of low quality, which I can understand and I can appreciate, because if they had done, everyone would be complaining, why did they put this in there? So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed my first impressions and hands-on. I've got a lot more videos coming up about the OnePlus 6. Next, I'll be releasing a video showcasing all the official cases for the OnePlus 6, so stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, share this in all the OnePlus forums, on your social media, and everyone you know. And as always, until next time, stay safe and peace.